Look, we didn't even need the start screen today. We're over here just talking mess, getting ready for the weekend. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Kerrville Weekly News Roundup, brought to you by the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network. We are the founders and your co-hosts today, Tom Fox, Andrew Gay, and Gilbert Paiz in the studio, coming at you live. It's Friday afternoon, so typically we're always in a good mood, but we're going to discuss the top news picks for this week. Tom, why don't you do the honors and kick us off, sir?
Sure. Thanks, Andrew. The first thing I'd like to talk about was a lead article in the Kerrville Daily Times, the Hill Country Youth Ranch, and they're having a series of open houses over the summer to really bring awareness to not only the great work they do, but help people understand that they're a nonprofit and they could use as much help, both financial and non-financial, as our organization, or our community, I should say, could give them. They were founded to help children coming from broken homes, abused children, foster children, and put them in, what I think is the most beautiful part of Texas, the Texas Hill Country, and give them a chance to really heal and then grow as teenagers. So our good friend Juanita Yancey was quoted in the Kerrville Times, Daily Times article. So shout out Juanita. And if you have the opportunity to go out to the Hill Country Youth Ranch on the way from Ingram to Mountain Home and then up to I-10, please do so, and please support this really worthwhile organization. The second story I have is this year, 2023, is the 100th anniversary of Camp Stewart.
Hey,
Camp Stewart is the oldest boys camp in Texas. They were the oldest camp here in Kerrville. The camp community provides literally hundreds of jobs in this part of the country. I am a graduate or attendee from Camp Stewart. In fact, that's why I moved to Kerrville and live here, was because I fell in love with the Hill Country when I was a 7-year-old boy and went to Camp Stewart for the first time. It's still run by owner emeritus Kathy Ragsdale, widow of Cy Ragsdale, the couple that bought the camp in 1966. It was founded by Doc Stewart in 1923 was the first year they had it, and then next year will be the major celebrations for the public. This summer they're going to celebrate for the campers. Kathy told me, I interviewed her for a Hill Country podcast, that they're going to have as much birthday cake as they can possibly make this summer for all of the campers. Camp Stewart and all of the camps, they open, the first many are opening up June 1, June 2, and they provide a huge service for not simply Kerrville, not simply the state of Texas, but they have campers from all over the world. Kathy told me that they have a full international complement of campers now. A lot of kids from Kerrville actually go out there and stay. They have 2 4-week sessions at Camp Stewart. I can't really say enough about what Camp Stewart means to me. Kathy Ragsdale remembered me the first time I emailed her and asked her if I could interview her. Its camp is now run by her son Jeepers. Her daughter Jane Ragsdale runs Heart of the Hills. So they are really a big part of the camping community. But Camp Mystic, Camp Waldemar, all of those camps are opening up. So expect to see a few more tourists, particularly the weekend before Memorial Day, and then the first weekend in June. There'll be a lot of folks in Kerrville bringing their kids out here, and I wish them all a safe and incredibly happy camping season to Camp Stewart and the entire camp community in Kerr County.
Tom's got such a great newscaster voice. I just feel like we could give you what we want to talk about and let you do it. But we this past week in Leadership Kerr County, it was the last class day of 2023, and we heard from Jane Ragsdale from Part of the Hills, and man, it's just the whole story about just being out there. I can only imagine your experience as a kid being out there and how magical that is and nostalgic it is. I mean, you moved here for that, so
exactly,
that's good stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, Gilbert, what do you got for us today?
All right, well, I've got 2 stories. The first story I want to throw out there is the election. I've been talking about the election the last few times we've been on here doing our weekly news roundup, and the election, of course, already took place. It's completed, but the thing I want to focus on today is the recount that's going on. In case you didn't know, there was a very, very tight race for one of the council places on the city council. And the two people that were running for place 2, I believe it was, Jeff Harris and Barbara Dewell Ferguson. Jeff got 1,815 votes, and Miss Dewell Ferguson got 1,807. That's a difference of 8 votes. So basically, 8 people in Kerrville are going to decide that election. Now for
That's wild.
It is. Now are those 8 people the ones that make the decision? No, of course not. But it just goes to show you that every single vote counts, especially in a town like Kerrville or a local municipal election, because everybody that is able to vote should come out and vote. And when you only have 1,800 people, less than 2,000 people make the decision for 25,000 people, well, I would tell the public, there's very little room to complain about your local government if you didn't bother to go out there and make your voice heard. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, shame on you for not doing it. It's just I want people to understand that, the election was so close. It could have been just a few people to make that little difference. And Jeff Harris is very likely to win the recount. According to our friend Louis Amistoy at the lead, he was saying that, based on the rules and the projections that they've got, that Jeff is probably going to come out the winner. Good for Jeff. But, Miss Dewell Ferguson is going to have to sit there and say, you know what? You lost by 8 votes. If you would have had 9 people, just 9 more people take the time to go out and vote, you'd have won. But since you couldn't get those 9 people to come out and vote, you lost, which is a shame. Hopefully the recount results are available later today. Lewis had a story out there on his page today that said hopefully by 2 o'clock they would have some kind of resolution. But I wouldn't be surprised if it runs through this weekend, and maybe not till Monday that we get an official notice that Jeff was the winner, or that it flipped over to Miss Dewell Ferguson. I don't know. But anyway, the election, very big deal. Hopefully, us as citizens will participate a little more fully and get the word out and motivate people to come out and vote, because, the fact is, less than 2,000 people decided the election. And that's true for place 1 also. I think there was less than 2,000 votes cast there. And for whatever reason, place 2 only got 1,800 votes. But anyway, it's important, very important. So next time, I'm gonna keep on harping about our ability to vote, and people should take the time to know who the candidates are and go out there and vote. That's my first story. The second story I'm going to talk about is the Community Foundation. In case you don't know, we have a foundation here based in Kerrville. It's called the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. And the Community Foundation, in the interest of full disclosure, I am a new board member this year. I was invited to participate and help steer the Community Foundation in a certain direction. And the Community Foundation every year gives out grants to nonprofits. And one of the other things that they do is scholarships. Now, the scholarship season is already over. This year, almost $500,000 in scholarships were handed out to students, high school students and current college students in and around the Hill Country. The focus of the Community Foundation, as the name implies, is on the Hill Country. So they gave all these scholarships already, but now what they have is the community impact grants that they're currently taking applications for. The window opened on May the 1st, and it goes through June 22nd. Nonprofits in and around the Hill Country area can submit an application via the Community Foundation's website, and they can ask to have a particular project or grant to fund a particular service that they want to offer as a nonprofit. And I think it's important that we get the word out so that any local nonprofits can participate, because the Community Foundation has substantial assets. Now, they don't give all the assets away, of course, every year, but they generate lots of income, and they generate returns to the community in the form of grants. And so if you're not familiar with the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country and you're on the board of a nonprofit or you know somebody who participates, let them know about this and tell them to go to the foundation's website. And Andrew, if you're doing a screen share, could you just quickly pull up their foundation website?
Yeah, I can.
The community foundation will give out hundreds of thousands of dollars in grants to fund various different projects. Now, there's no guarantees that if you submit a grant, you will be selected. There's no guarantees that if you're selected for a grant that you will get 100% of your request. But the fact that you submit a request says that you need some funding. And so here's a copy of their website. And if you go over to the tab that says nonprofits, and then scroll down a little bit, there is a link towards the bottom there that says apply for a grant or more information.
There you go.
There you go. You see
click
that?
Here for more information.
Click here for more information. Yep. So this is the Community Impact Fund that we're talking about that's open right now. And if you go to this Community Impact Fund area, there's a link there that says apply for a grant. Very easy, very quick. You can start the application process, save it, and then submit it later. Ultimately, though, I just want everybody to know that they can go out there, and of course, I'm talking about nonprofits, not just you, Joe Blow off the street that needs some help paying their utility bill. This is geared towards nonprofits. If you know anybody that's on a nonprofit or you participate in a nonprofit and you need some funding for a particular project, please consider applying to the Community Foundation for the Texas Hill Country.
That's great. I'm glad you made me pull that up. I was trying to post the link. I'll do it here in a minute. But thank you for that, Gilbert.
Yep.
We'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Oh, great idea.
That'll work. All right. So I guess it's my turn, huh? So I got a few mentions for us. I'm just going to run down this list quickly. First up, KPUB earned the American Public Power Association Safety Award of Excellence for 2022. That's 4 out of the last 5 years that they've won this award. So shout out to KPUB. Good job, KPUB. The Museum of Western Art, I think we mentioned this before. Tom, you might have mentioned this last week or the week before, but their 40 Years of Western Art exhibit is on display over there. I got to see it in person this past Tuesday, for leadership, and what a wonderful exhibit it is. I would just encourage people to go see that before it is over. I think it is coming to a close relatively soon, but it is a fantastic Western art exhibit, and some of the artists that they have on display there with some of their works are just amazing. One in particular, there is a few paintings from private collections there that have not necessarily been shown to the public. So just go over there and check that out if you get a chance to. I got to see that in person. It was fantastic. There is I thought this was, I just wanted to mention this because there was a power outage yesterday, and I thought it was funny that it turns out that it was due to a rodent, to a squirrel, and our friend Lewis over at the Lead posted about this, but apparently that's a pretty common thing right now during this time period, is for squirrels in particular, not just because there's a number of animals and wildlife here in the Hill Country that could interfere with some of their grid and equipment. Over at KPUB, speaking of KPUB, but this was a squirrel, so that knocked us out for a little while there, but I thought that was kind of funny and worth to mention. And then kind of leaning it towards looking at this weekend, there's a few things going on. I'll be attending the Leadership Kirk County graduation tonight for the 2022-2023 class, so they will cap off the year with the graduation ceremony tonight, so that's really exciting. I'm excited to participate in that. This is my first year as a steering committee member there. The Hill Country Charity Ball is this weekend. I believe that is tomorrow. The theme is Atlantis Rising, so that'll be interesting to see. I'm sure I personally am not attending, but I know that I always get a good glance into that on Facebook with a lot of friends and whatnot, and their pictures there. Then we got also going on tomorrow, there's a 5K PD, which is at Lewis Hayes Park. It's at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So, you guys, you early risers, if you want to get up that early and go run.
That ain't me, bro. I can tell you that on the Saturday.
I have arm day on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Good excuses. I'll be sleeping in. And I have gotten up this week early to go work out, but probably not going to do that on a Saturday. only because I'll probably be up later tonight. But I don't know if we wake up early, we might go do that. But
I don't want him to run my ID because I got a little something in the background there.
Well, that's the good thing is that this is not this 5KPD is just to show support of our local police department here, law enforcement.
No drug testing.
Yeah, no drug testing required. You just need to know, and there's no like registration shirts that they hand out. There's none of that. It's just to show up and run and support, and it's on our beautiful river trail here at Lewis Hayes Park.
So what you're saying is I got to bring my gat with me.
Yeah. Okay. Prison rules.
Just make sure it doesn't fall.
Yeah.
And go off accidentally.
And I think with that, that's all we had today. That's all from me. So what else you guys got going on? Any thoughts leading into the weekend? Either one of you?
The weather again. Supposedly we might get some real severe storms today, and
dude, we got.
Is that like the 12 inches we got last week?
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about last week. Tom was so excited to go sit. I was excited for you to sit on your beautiful back porch with your nice view and watch the weather, and then
we got nothing.
Just sad. We didn't get a whole lot. We got some Friday night, but wasn't as much as we needed. That's for sure.
I want to give a shout out, and I want to give a shout out to one of the best run basketball teams in the world, the San Antonio Spurs, because they won the lottery and they get Victor Wembanyama. I know I butchered that. Anyway, he's the next LeBron James, who was the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I guess who else in there. He's 7'5", can handle the ball, shoot outside, and I love the fact Pop's going to coach him, and I'm a Houston Rocket fan, but the Spurs deserve it.
Well,
yes, that's great.
Joint the past couple of seasons, so
that's because all the greats they kind of shed some of them off over the last several years. In the first, because I've been here for 10 years in Kerrville, in the first several years I was here, boy, they were like, that was the years they were making the playoffs, and like, oh man, I even went to a playoff game against the OKC. That was great. I saw Durant, and I got like 4 seeds. It was crazy. But I had
some of his sweat on you.
Yeah. We it was up close and personal. It was a good time, but yeah, I just haven't really kept up with them since then. But do you know anything about that process, about how they won that? There's like a lottery drawing, right?
It's a lottery, and it's ping pong balls, allegedly not weighted. So everybody gets allegedly. It's always a fix. So, but I don't care. They fixed it for the Spurs, so
So we'll take it.
Funny how that stuff works.
That's right. That's great.
Well, that's how they got David Robinson, and that's how they got Tim Duncan through the lottery process. And that's kind of sad, though. You got to stink really bad to participate in the lottery process. But hey, listen, if anybody's going to win, you'd probably want it to be the Spurs.
All right, we'll take it. Okay, guys, that will do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, interact with us, share our content. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps other people find our show. And we'll catch you back here next week, next Friday. Have a great and safe, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.